Dr. Peterson, that's a profound question. Temperament is partly biological, but it's not fixed in stone. You can modify it. You may not erase all your vulnerabilities, but you can meaningfully lower the degree to which negative emotion dominates your life. Let me outline some strategies. 1. Straightening out your past. Earlier today, I mentioned the self-authoring suite. Writing about unresolved experiences in your past, events that still feel mysterious or unfinished, has been shown to reduce chronic stress. Here's why: your body tracks an average stress load by comparing the proportion of events you don't understand with those you do. If too many experiences remain unresolved, you carry constant tension because your nervous system is always on guard, waiting for similar problems to resurface. By confronting, analyzing, and making sense of those experiences, you reduce that burden. If a similar situation arises in the future, you're armed with understanding rather than paralyzed by uncertainty. 2. Clarifying your future. Equally important is straightening out your relationship with the future. Uncertainty about where you're going, why you're going there, or what your goals mean creates chronic stress. When your future is undefined, every step forward feels unstable. Clarify your aims, set goals you believe in, and articulate why they matter. The more precise the vision, the less room there is for vague, undefined anxiety. So organize your past to reduce unresolved chaos, and organize your future to reduce uncertainty. Together, those changes lower your baseline neuroticism. 3. Conscientiousness as an antidote. Research consistently shows a strong negative correlation between conscientiousness and neuroticism. People who are orderly and industrious are less plagued by negative emotion. Why? Because they impose structure on their environment. They tidy their physical surroundings, make plans, and work diligently. This creates stability both in the present and the future. A clean, ordered environment is predictable. Diligent work creates a more secure tomorrow. Both reduce the sense of chaos that fuels anxiety. So one way to combat neuroticism is to deliberately cultivate conscientiousness. Bring order where you can, even in small increments. 4. Escaping the trap of self-consciousness. Another factor is self-focus. Excessive self-consciousness is tightly bound to negative emotion. In fact, you can predict depression or psychosis with surprising accuracy simply by analyzing pronoun use. The more someone uses I, me, and my, the more miserable they tend to be. Neuroticism scales even include self-consciousness as a facet, which suggests that deep self-focus and misery are almost synonymous. But here's the problem. You can't simply think less about yourself by telling yourself to stop. That just amplifies self-focus. The way out is paradoxical: focus on others. Ask, how can I put people at ease? How can I serve them? How can I make their lives better? When you shift your attention to others, whether it's your partner, family, colleagues, or community, you relieve the burden of self-conscious stress. Service to others redirects energy outward and lowers negative emotion. 5. Confronting avoidance with gradual exposure. A practical exercise. List the things you are afraid of and avoiding, especially the tasks you know are necessary for progress but can't bring yourself to face. Avoidance magnifies anxiety. Write down every avoided responsibility. Break each into smaller, manageable steps. Develop a strategy of gradual exposure. For example, perhaps you're months behind on taxes or bills. The thought of even looking at them is terrifying. Instead of tackling everything at once, start small. Gather the documents, open the folder, look through them for 5 minutes. Even tiny confrontations begin to erode the paralysis. This works in 2 ways. The problem itself diminishes as you face it. You develop confidence that you are the kind of person who does not run from problems. That identity shift, seeing yourself as someone who confronts difficulty, builds resilience and directly counters the roots of severe anxiety. 6. Considering physiological causes. Now, something else that's crucial. Don't assume your anxiety is purely psychological. There's strong evidence linking depression and anxiety with autoimmune and inflammatory conditions. Ask yourself, do you suffer from allergies, skin disorders like psoriasis, or other autoimmune-related symptoms? These might be fueling your anxiety. For example, my family has had success reducing negative emotion through diet. We follow a meat-only regimen, And there's growing evidence that ketogenic and carnivore diets can help manage severe psychological disorders. Harvard researchers at McLean Hospital are investigating these diets for conditions as serious as schizoaffective disorder, with promising results. The science is still young, but the evidence suggests many people's psychological suffering is actually a secondary effect of physical illness. That's why, when I practice clinically, I always began differential diagnosis by considering undetected physiological problems. It's often overlooked but extremely important. 7 Summary of practical steps. To reduce neuroticism and negative emotion. Clarify your past by writing about unresolved experiences. Clarify your future by setting meaningful goals. Cultivate conscientiousness. Tidy, organize, and work diligently. Shift focus outward by serving others. Confront avoidance with incremental exposure to feared tasks. Investigate physical causes, inflammation, autoimmune issues, diet. Each of these strategies chips away at chronic negative emotion. Together, they don't just manage anxiety, they restructure the way you engage with life. That's not a bad place to begin.